Hi. It's a little excited, but it's the best I can do. It's the best I can do with what I got right now. And it's moving slowly, but okay. Welcome to your yoga flow. I'm Dom. If we haven't met, I'm just about to turn on Instagram. Feel free to get on your mat, get nice and comfy, and I will see you there. Hi, hello, happy yoga flow day. If we've never met before, I am Dom. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. Only props you will need is a blanket if you would like a blanket. If you have blocks available to you or block substitutes, please feel free to grab them. And we're gonna get started. We're gonna start seated today. So grabbing a hold of whatever you have available. I have a little cushion kind of filled with beads, which is really, really nice. I'm also really excited because we have some new lighting in here, which thrills me up. I have been waiting months for this, so I'm pretty happy. I hope you're happy too. And on Instagram, we can definitely see a lot better than we could before, so that's great. Together, can we inhale, take a nice big breath in through the nose, reach the arms up overhead, reach out through the palms, let that breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale, big reach up overhead. With the palms, push that energy out and away from you. Keep going as we inhale. It's like we're sort of creating our own bubble space right now. So as you reach up, can you really reach to the furthest tips of your fingertips to cultivate your own bubble space? 2 more. Inhale, big reach up. Push that air away. 1 more time. Inhale, big reach up. Exhale it down. You inhale, draw your shoulders up to your earlobes, and then exhale, let it just melt down your back, taking a little pause. I'd like to start today with just a little bit of noise making. And before we go there, taking a moment to settle into our bodies. Oh, that was a belly gurgle. Letting the muscles around our faces relax, the muscles around our eyes relax. And I sometimes try to imagine my head like a bobblehead. You know how those toys where the whole purpose of them is that the head is bigger than the body, and then if you put them in your car, they kind of bobble? I like to think of my head like that, in the sense that my cervical spine just sort of is easeful. And my cranium, my skull, my head just sort of gets to like pull up on top of it. And it's just sort of there. It's not gripped. It's not held super strong. It's just sort of, it's soft. It's bubbly. Letting this ease that we're creating from the top work its way down. If it feels reasonable to put a hand on your belly, please feel free to do that. If you have no desire, then don't worry about it. Letting your opposite hand rest wherever it feels like it needs to land. Mine is on my thigh, palm up. We're going to chant Om 3 times together. And this is not about being the most perfect singer. It's about taking your bubble space you've created and bringing some resonance into it. 1 breath just to breathe, inhaling it in. Exhale to let that breath go. Here we go. Inhale it in. Feeling how this sound vibration exists in your energy bubble. And it exists as a source to come back to re-energize, as a source to support and to be kind. Gently dropping your chin down towards your chest. Allowing that right ear to draw around to the right shoulder. Take a pause. Maybe it feels reasonable to take those left hands and start to reach them away a little bit more. Maybe that left hand fans up towards the ceiling and then back down. Fanning it out and reaching it up as we allow that right ear to drop down to the right shoulder. Inhaling it up and exhaling it down. Circling that head, chin towards chest, taking your left ear to your left shoulder and pausing here. Maybe that right arm reaches its way out. It doesn't have to find contact with anything really. Maybe that right arm starts to reach up overhead and back down. The way I like to organize practice is really more of a blueprint than anything else. Your practice is always based on your body and your choices and perfectly unique to you. And so never worrying about what certain shapes might look like in my body because they could look different in yours. Circling that chin back to center, all the way around to the right again. Let's take that left arm up and let's take a side bend over to the right this time. Inhaling here and exhaling it out. Inhaling it in, exhaling it out. One more time, breathing it in. As we breathe out, coming all the way up. Left hand finds the floor, right arm reaches up overhead. Keep going here. What is happening on Instagram? Inhaling, those arms come up. Exhaling. Taking that side bend over to the left this time. Enjoying that little bit of ease. Or maybe it doesn't feel ease. Maybe it feels like, holy schmoly, there's stuff happening back here, and that's fine too. Bringing the arms back to center. Place your hands on your knees. Let's lift the shoulders up. Let's give them a nice roll behind us. Taking that left hand over towards the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Let's lengthen our torso up in space. And then from here, through the belly, rotating around to the right. Inhaling to get nice and tall. Exhaling to continue this twist. Breathing it in and out, inhaling to grow tall, exhaling to continue this twist. Head leads the way to center, unravel the spine. Maybe take a little counter twist. Lengthening that right leg out, let's flex up through those feet. So if you're propped up on something, here, let me sort of scoot back a little bit. If you're propped up on something here, then there might be possibility to overextend your knee, or maybe it feels better to have it a little bit bent. What I recommend is that instead of sitting in stretches, we turn on engagement. So we're going to zip up through that thigh, reach out through that heel, press the heel into the floor. Feel what's happening there first. Sit up as tall as you can, and then take that right hand down for a little sidewalk. Left hand comes overhead. Taking your breaths in and taking your breaths out. Taking your breaths in and out. Staying connected to all that musculature down that right side and coming all the way up. Pull the leg in. Let's crisscross our legs the other way. So whatever that other way may be to you. Sitting up nice and tall. Start to reach the arms up, placing that right hand this time on the left knee. Left hand comes behind the left hip, sitting up. And then from the obliques, from the waist, twisting around to the left. Inhaling to sit tall. Exhaling to twist around. Inhaling tall. Exhaling to twist. Using your breath, using the sound vibration we created in our little imaginary sound bubbles. When you're ready, coming back to center, unravel this twist. Maybe go the opposite way for just a little second to unravel. Left leg is going to reach out this time. And same bit of business. So checking in and making sure we're not sort of sitting in these shapes, that we're digging that heel down, that we're zipping up through the thigh, finding tone through that leg. Then the left hand can go for a bit of a walk down to the ankle, and the right arm comes up overhead. Using our breath here as a way to really be present with the experience in our bodies. Are we still able to soften through the gaze, soften through the eyebrows? Taking one more breath in here, breathing it out, coming all the way up. Let's take those legs. I'm going to slide my seat out from underneath me now. I'm going to come back onto my hands, placing those feet on the floor and just giving them the legs a little bit of a wiggle. A little bit of a wiggle side to side. Feels kind of nice. Just up through those hips. Then let's lie all the way down on our backs. So we're going to be lifting our hips up for a little bit of warming up through the back of the hamstrings and glutes, which means that we want to make sure there's nothing extra behind our heads or shoulders. Please, we want to make sure that we keep them on the ground. Feeling your feet pressing into the floor, taking your breath in as you breathe out, scooping through that pelvis, pressing your feet to the floor, lifting your hips up one vertebrae at a time. At the top, taking an inhale, feeling nice and long through the knees, and then exhaling to roll yourself down. Using your breath here as a conduit for movement and really massaging your vertebrae here. Really sort of feeling if you can actually experience each vertebrae leaving the floor and coming back to the floor, especially those lower lumbar vertebrae. Sometimes they get missed. Now, this is not a shoulder bridge where we're tucking our shoulders underneath us and lifting up super high. It actually like us to keep our waist fairly contained, our ribs fairly contained. Imagine as if you were doing a plank. Let's do 2 more here. Feeling that bit of work and energy from the bottom, rolling ourselves down. The last one, I really believe, when we're looking at flexibility versus mobility, flexibility is range without support, to summarize, and mobility is range with support. And so in our yoga practice, there's often shapes, bring your knees into your chest, that depending on your flexibility might feel quite good to hang out in. And so I offer us the experience of searching for mobility instead, turning on all of those muscles that offer the support for your body structure. Way better for your health and longevity without being in too much pain over time. Give those legs a little shake, grab the backs of your thighs. Maybe you can rock and roll yourself up. Maybe that's not how you want to get there, in which case get there how you want to get there. Let's come onto our hands and our knees. As we inhale, lengthening out one long line, tail to head. Exhale, scoop, tuck, and round, push the floor away. Inhale to lengthen it out. Exhale, scoop and tuck. Now as we inhale, as we draw our chest through our hands, let's slide those shoulder blades down our back so they're not coming up to our earlobes. Exhaling to round. One more time. Inhaling to lengthen it out. Exhaling to round. Let's take the body weight back. Big stretch through the back of the body. Breathing it in here, please. Exhaling it out. Rolling up onto hands and knees. Now giving our wrists a little chance to warm up here. We're going to circle the weight back towards the pinky finger and then forward in space around to the left side, back to the back of the wrist. Let's go to the left towards the left pinky finger, up and forward to the right pinky finger. And then back and down, just sort of seeing how this weight placement is feeling in your body. One more time the other way. Now, maybe it would feel really amazing to push back into a shell stretch. Maybe it would feel really amazing to lift your hips, super bend your knees, and find a downward dog. Wherever you are, there is no wrong answer here. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Inhaling it in again. You could totally 100% be in a child's pose here. You could still be at a tabletop if you would like to. Paddling it out. Breathing it in. And then nice and gently, however you'd like to make your way, feet towards hands, please feel free. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward. Walk your feet just a little bit wider. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Inhale up halfway. Exhale it down. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Inhale up halfway. Exhale one more time. So they're heading towards the outside edges of your mat, up halfway. Exhale it down and then pause. Turn your toes out to look away from each other a little bit. Bend into those knees. Get as low as feels good for you. Bringing those knees and elbows potentially towards each other. Now, this is a shape that feels really good in my body, but maybe you want to stay higher up. Yes, totally fine. Hugging elbows and knees towards each other, letting the pelvis hang out here. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Malasana, which sounds a lot like mala bead. One more time, breathing it in. We're going to reverse engineer this. Stand up, straighten the legs, tilt your torso forward, turn the toes back to parallel. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt to the floor, walk them in just a little bit. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, walk them in just a little bit. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, walk them in just a little bit. Inhale up halfway. Exhale it down one more time. Inhale to come up halfway. Whew. Exhale it down. Huge bend in the knees as we push and roll ourselves to stand up nice and tall. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Inhale, big roll of the shoulders up to the ears. Exhaling it down. Inhale, shoulders roll back behind us. Exhale down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. As we breathe out, bending down and forward in space to melt over those legs. Inhale up halfway. Exhale to lower down, step your left leg back, place your left knee on the floor. Hug those legs together, reach the arms up overhead. Nice breath in here. Nice breath out. Keep those legs hugging in, keep them nice and active, and then let's bring the body weight forward. Keep hugging your bottom leg in. Walk that bottom leg a little bit wider now. So your right foot is to the outside or to that outer seam of your right mat. Turn the toes out. Remember, we started by hugging those legs together, so let's keep that going. Now, if you have blocks, this is a great chance to place your hands on blocks here. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. It's totally up to you, but hug those legs in. Let's roll up to the pinky toe side of that front foot. Now, we're not sitting in a stretch here yet. We're really super active. And so as you open that thigh out, you're trying to use just your musculature to turn it out and hug it in. Maybe reach that right arm up. Maybe right hand comes to hip. Maybe you're super happy staying flat on the floor. Yes. We're going to hold our body, create as much tension as you possibly can through those legs for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring those arms all the way down. Walk that foot all the way back in. Let's fire up through the back leg. Take your back leg, shift it forward just a smidgen, lift your hips back up. So, a little bit of housekeeping here. It might really super not look like this in your body, in which case let's bend into the knees just a little bit, lengthen out through the back of your tail, and from there work towards straightening the legs. But I would care much more, or I care much more about where the shape of the pelvis and the back is. Yes, it's possible in my body to straighten, but that doesn't mean that that's what it has to look like. Back heel is lifted off the floor. Both of my quads are lifted up and both of my legs are hugging in towards each other. For 3, for 2, for 1. Bending into both of those knees. Your choice. If you'd like to step back into a plank, you totally can. If you'd like a kneeling plank, you can. If you'd like a child's pose, you can. Flow is up to you, taking your breath in. As you breathe out, pulling and drawing yourself to the floor. Flip your toes, inhale to lift up. Exhale to take it up and back into a downward dog, or whatever your home base is, right? Your home base could be a tabletop, it could be a child's pose, maybe you're in a chair pose. Take a nice big breath in. Through the mouth, exhale, let it out. 2 more, inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. 1 more time, inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. Inhale to lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. And then as you breathe out, making your way to the top of your mat, inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, press your feet through the floor as we ripple, roll ourselves all the way, standing tall. Exhale, hands down through the heart. Inhale, shoulders roll up to your ears. Exhale, back. Inhale, backwards up to ears. Exhale, down. Inhale, shoulders, arms reach up. Exhale, diving forward over those legs. Inhale up halfway. As we lower, step the right leg back this time, right knee finds the floor. Take a moment to pause and hug those legs towards each other, firing up through the back bum cheek, lifting those arms, feeling a bit of a stretch here. Taking a breath in, toes can be tucked or untucked behind you. Non-negotiable is the tension we're creating in our bodies. Breathing it in here, breathing it out. Gently lowering those hands to the floor. Let's take the left foot and walk it pretty wide now. So it's to that outer seam of your mat. And let's turn those left toes out. Let's roll up to that pinky toe edge side of your left foot, hugging your left thigh, pardon me, in and right thigh forward. Lots of tension here. So that left thigh, I'll turn and face you, is trying to open, but it's not opening because we're pushing it. It's opening because of your musculature. Watching to make sure if you start to feel some knee pain, just don't open quite so much. Yeah, that's kind of the beauty of doing it this way, is you get to be in control of exactly how much you feel. Maybe you're super happy keeping both hands down and forward. Maybe you feel like you'd like a twist here. Keep hugging the glutes in. Keep hugging the legs. We got 3. For 2, beautiful hip opener here. Last one, bringing those hands all the way down, plant through the foot, walk it back to center, fire up through the back leg, shift it forward a little bit, send your hips up and back. So back heel is lifted up off of the floor, remembering maybe a gentle bend of both of the knees to lengthen out through the spine is exactly what your body would like here. Maybe it's a stretch of both of the legs. Zipping up through your thighs, taking those breaths in, and breaths out. Breathing it in here. Breathing it out. Maybe blocks are the best option, yeah? When you're ready, shifting forward, planting through your hands. Now, option to find a flow, nice and super duper slow, legs up, knees down, or coming from a child's pose. When you're ready, slowly drawing yourself to the floor, collarbones go wide. Inhale to lengthen up a little bit, or maybe into your full cobra, but keep those pedicure sides of your feet down to the floor. Roll yourself up and back. Find your home base. That could be a child's pose. It could be a downward dog. It could be a bendy downward dog. It could be anything. Take a big breath in through the nose, please. Exhale it out through the mouth. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhaling it out through the mouth. One more time, breathing it in. Tensing up through those arm muscles, drawing the rib cage in. Inhale. Lift your heels and ripple forward into a plank. Now, everybody drop to your knees. Let's pause here. Now, if I really let my lower body points, the knees and the toes, because my toes are tucked, or backs of your feet, be engaged and hug forward, that kind of does something magical. Let's make sure the glutes are fired on. Let's tense up through the arms, super push the floor away. So you're kind of trying to like lift up and out of yourself. Arms draw wide and then heels of your hands draw down. And then super slowly, we're hugging the elbows to the waist. We're trying to keep the collarbones wide and we gently descend to the floor, flipping through those toenails. Let's take our arms wide. Palms are going to be down. Elbows find the floor as well. You're sort of in like a little bit of a trident with the upper body. Forehead finds the floor. Toenails find the floor here. Active through those quads, those glutes, little bit of a tilt to pubic bone, head down. As we inhale, roll the shoulder blades on the back, a little head nod forward. As we breathe out, we're going to push our hands, our forearms into the floor to lengthen our chest out and up. Now, you only go as far as you can go without ducking into your hip bones, and we're pulling, we're tractioning those elbows down to the waist. Take a pause here, breathe in, and then gently lower it down. Notice if you're pushing your ribcage, your belly into the floor, please. Inhale, shoulder blades on back, head lifts up, little nod forward. And then as we breathe out, we're lengthening the chest out and forward, firing through those glutes. Now, as you inhale, if you inhale down into the floor, that's a lot of pressure on your diaphragm and your ribs. If you inhale sideways, you have a little more freedom. Lowering to the floor. 2 more times like this. Inhale, shoulder blades on the back, head lifts, little nod forward. As we breathe out, push your full forearm to fingertips into the floor. Hug it down so you can draw your chest forward a little bit more. Maybe here you can lift the hands to float. Gently place them back down, lowering your chest to the floor. One more time. Inhale, shoulder blades on back, little head lift, little nod forward. As we breathe out, lengthening out and up, little lift of those hands. Place the hands down all the way down to the floor. Slide your hands back so they come down underneath your shoulders. Do a little bit of that head nod. And if you feel like you want to stay in a baby cobra, that's perfect. If you'd like to lift out and up, make sure you still keep the back tension we created up and back into your home base. Could be a downward dog, could be anything. Nice big breath in through the nose, please. Exhale it out through the mouth. Inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. As you breathe out, making your way up to meet your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down, press your feet through the floor, ripple, roll yourself all the way up, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, roll shoulders up to ears, they come down behind you. Inhale, up from behind you to ears, they come forward. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, melt it down and forward over those legs. Inhale up halfway. As we breathe out, let's step that left leg back. Left knee finds the floor. Reach those arms up in space to take your inhale to feel the tractioning of the legs. As we breathe out, let's place those hands down. Let's walk that right foot a little bit wider. Turn right toes to 2 o'clock. Open the right thigh up to pinky toe side of the foot. Feel effort, feel hugging in happening the whole way here. Maybe add a twist. Keep scooping, keep scooping, keep scooping, keep scooping, keep scooping and hugging, scooping and hugging. And maybe that left thigh comes off of the floor. To just sort of add a bit of a quad here, because why not? We're so active, pushing the floor away, hugging the glutes, opening the thighs for 2. For 1, releasing through those legs, circle that arm back down and forward. Walk the right foot back to center. Charge up the back leg as it lifts up and back. Maybe the back foot smidges forward a little bit. Lengthening through your spine. Maybe that requires a bend of the knees to then melt it down. Keep those legs hugging in. Keep them hugging in. Keep them hugging in. Breathing in. Breathing out. Maybe they're straight breathing in. Breathing out. If it feels reasonable here to plant through the left hand on the floor, on the block, on the fingertips, right hand to right hip and start to twist to the right, maybe there's an arm reach here for you too. Maybe that arm reach can go, that would be fun overhead. We're back behind you. For 2, for 1, bring that arm all the way back down, bend into your right knee. Open the left foot up so it's setting up for your warrior 2 here. Windmill those arms all the way up, bending into that front knee. Taking your breath in, taking your breath out. So feeling both feet fully planted down on the floor. Left toes are pointing to the longish edge of your mat. That's my left edge. Right knee is bent. Let's lift the right heel, tuck the right thigh back, then pop the right heel down. Arms are reaching, maybe palms down, maybe palms up. Breathing in and out here. Hugging those legs in, feeling the heat, the activity that gets to build. 1 more breath here. Reach the back hand as we breathe out. Circle that hand to the floor. Your choice if you would like to flow or not flow. You'd maybe want a child's pose, maybe table hover. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, let's keep the integrity of everything we've been practicing. Inhale, don't forget the muscles of your mid-back as you lift. Exhale, up and back into your home base. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhaling in. Feeling the musculature of the arms, the lengthening of the spine, the tail, the connection to the belly, the hugging into the midline. So nothing is hanging out here, yeah? Our downward dog is not really a rest. That's why I like to call this home base. And your home base can be whatever you need it to be. Inhale, lift up through your heels, bend your knees, look forward, breathe out, and on empty, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it forward, press your feet through the floor, ripple, roll yourself all the way to reach up overhead. As you breathe out, bring those arms down. Inhale, shoulders roll forward and up, and then back. Inhale, back and up, and then forward. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. As we breathe out, diving forward over those legs, generous bend in the knees. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Step your right leg back this time, please. Right knee finds the floor. Hug those legs in. Reach your arms up to find that moment where we really get to hug those legs in together. And then we place the hands down. Walk your foot wider. Left foot goes wide this time. Turn the left toes to 10 o'clock. Rolling onto the outside of that left foot, hugging those legs in. Feeling so much activity through those legs. And then maybe there's a twist here for you if you would like to take it. Finding not your edge. Let's say that you have 100% and then your edge is like 80%. Can we live in like 70% of the range and 100% of the tension? Maybe there's a bend of the back knee here for you, collecting with your left hand. Feeling whatever version of this shape works for you for 2. For 1, gently releasing that leg, circling that arm all the way back down. Let's plant that left foot, charge up through the back leg, and we lift our hips up and back. Now, maybe it takes a bit of a scoot in with that back leg. The back heel is lifted. Maybe there's a bit of a bend in the knees here for you so you can lengthen out through that spine. Maybe not. Remember, nothing about this is sitting or passive. Everything is engaged. Those thighs are turned up. The feet are pressing down. They're hugging in, lengthened through the spine. And maybe here, there's an opportunity to twist to the left. Maybe left hand comes to, left hip to hug it back. I felt that. Left arm maybe reaches. I'm going to bend in my knees on this side because my left side is tight. For 2. For 1, circling those arms back down. Let's pivot the right toes to turn out so that the pinky toe edge lines up with the back of the mat. Bend into that front knee. Circle those arms all the way up. Open up into your warrior 2. Taking a breath in here. Taking a breath out. Breathing it in. Settling it out. Again, little bits of housekeeping. So quads are active, legs are hugging in, knee over middle of foot. Maybe we lift that front heel, open out through that thigh with your musculature and put it down. So again, so super duper active. Palms can be up or down, whatever feels the most freeing in your neck. Inhale, reach a little bit with that back arm. Exhale, pivot down, windmill to the floor. Your choice if you would like to flow, if you would like to pause. Maybe you just want to hold a plank for a few breaths. If you'd like to flow, inhale to get long. As we breathe out, keep that tension through the body as we gently lower. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Remember, your back muscles are active here. As we breathe out, push up and back to your home base. Take a nice big breath in through the nose. Exhaling it out. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling it out. Noticing if there's anything in here that feels like it could do with a little more tension. My ribs were popping out a little bit there, so I'm drawing them in. Now I feel my abs. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale on empty, make your way up to meet your hands. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Press your feet through the floor, ripple, roll yourself all the way up. Shoulders can reach up as the arms reach up. And then exhale down. Give it a little wiggle. Okay. We're going to find our way to the top of our mat. My mat just scooted a little bit. Find our way to the top of the mat. We're going to plant down. I'm going to face you. Yeah, and then I'll turn again. So we're going to plant down in that left foot, rolling up to the toes of our right foot. Grounded. And then let's lift that right leg up. Let's turn the right thigh out, trying to keep our hip bones square. And then let's place the right foot on the left thigh. So we're in a tree pose, yes? I'm going to turn back to face the side of my mat. Actually, no, let's stay here. I'll stay here. Tall thoughts, grounded legs. Maybe those arms reach out to the sides. Maybe they come into prayer. Maybe they reach up overhead. Breathing in and out here. Maybe right hand comes down to right thigh. We take a side bend over to the right. Bringing the body all the way up. Place our hands to our hips. Let's take the right leg and lift it up. Give it a really good squeeze, 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 squeeze. Now, super, super mindfully, keeping the left thigh nice and engaged, we're going to start to tip ourselves. Tip, 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 tip. So notice my torso is trying to find its arrangement in space without hanging out. Then I maybe reach my leg. Fire it up through the back leg like you're trying to push something away from you. Let's maybe bring the hands to heart center for 2. For 1, and then bend into that front knee. Open that right leg out. Ta-da! We're back in our warrior 2. Maybe it can requires a little bit of shimmying on your mat, yes? Reaching those arms out back into that warrior 2, hugging those legs in. Right toes are facing forward. It's a huge angle through the angle through the ankle. But that's okay as long as it feels all right in your body. Let's really reach through that left arm. Bring the left forearm to the left thigh. Circle the right arm up and overhead until it lines up with that ear. Gaze could be up here, forward or down, whatever feels best in your neck. Non-negotiable is the tension in your legs. Hug them in. And it's sort of like you could maybe hover. So if you wanted to, maybe there's an opportunity to open these arms here. Keep hugging those legs in. My bottom knee is still bent. My front knee is still bent. For 2. For 1, windmill those arms all the way up. Now listen carefully. We're going to keep the front toes turned out to where they are. We're going to turn the back toes out to meet it on an equal angle and bend into the knees. Goddess pose. Now maybe you took that side bend in your tree pose. If you didn't, no big deal. We're going to do it here. Reaching those arms out nice and long. Getting deep. Hugging those legs in, turning those thighs out again with your musculature. And then let's bring the right hand down, side bend over to the right. You could even sweep that right arm right underneath if you'd like. Can we feel like the arms are reaching away? Inhale, bring ourselves all the way up. We're going back to that same side. Exhale to reach it over. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it over. Keep hugging those legs in. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale it over. A little bit fancy here. Take that top hand, circle it down in front. So you're doing sort of like a hanging forward fold here. Nice and carefully pivot those toes forward. Stretch through your legs tall. And then let's bend into a forward fold here. Zipping up through those thighs. Feeling the feet pressing into the floor. Taking a breath in. Taking a breath out. Taking your breath in. Taking your breath out. All right, I'm going to try and be clever with you. Can we bend into those knees? Can we ripple and roll ourselves all the way up? Shoulders take a nice roll. We're going to turn the right toes out. We're going to pivot onto the back left foot for a nice big reach up overhead. And then exhale, coming down to the floor, plant your hands, step back, take a flow of your choice. Breathing in. If you're flowing as you breathe out, remember to keep drawing the chest forward, glutes are on. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, take it up and back into your home base. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Breathing it in here. Breathing it out. Now, right away, don't lift the leg up. You're just going to pull the right foot forward and then place the right foot in between the hands. Lower down to that back knee. Sweep the arms up overhead to take that nice big reach. Inhaling here. Exhale to bring those hands down. Let's walk that foot a little bit wider. Turn the foot out. Little side stretch, pigeon-y type thing here. Place that hand down. Okay, let's turn those toes forward. This is where we're going to get kind of fancy again, okay? So our right toes are forward, left knee is on the floor. We're going to lift up through the back thigh. We're going to walk our hands forward towards that long side, that same side we just came from, and bend into that right leg. Last side bend here. Zipping up through that left thigh. Now, it might be higher for you, yeah? You might feel way more happy up here. You might feel happy down low. Wherever you are, maybe there's an opportunity to reach that right arm out again. Side, bend over to the right. Maybe in your practice, there's a bind. In mine, there is not. Whew. All right, ready to get really fancy? If it's not fancy enough, we're going to push off of that standing leg, sweep all the way up and forward back to the top of our mat, fire up through that back leg and step it forward. Inhale to come up halfway. That was a lot. I know, you got it. Exhale down. Press your feet through the floor, ripple, roll yourself all the way up. Those arms reach up to the ceiling, and then they come down. I'm going to turn to face the other side of my mat for the second side, so that I still end up facing you, yeah? All right, let's turn and stand nice and tall. Whew, exciting business. Planting down through that right foot. This time, left leg is going to squeeze up into your chest. And then we turn the left leg out, trying to keep the hip bones forward. Place that left foot on your leg. Anywhere will do. Trying to avoid sticking out through the hip, however, drawing in. That whole outer right side of your right leg is trying to hug into center. Maybe your arms reach out. Maybe they stay on your hips. Maybe they come to heart. Maybe they reach up. Yeah, the world's your oyster here. In our breath. Let's take the left hand maybe down to the left thigh. Right arm reaches up, side bend over to the left. Woo, nice active legs here. Breathing it in. Maybe your inhale and exhale are both arriving and traveling through your nose. Perfect. I'm going to turn to face sideways again for this next super fun part. Let's bring ourselves back upright. Hands can come to heart. Let's take that leg up and forward. And then squeeze. You've got a beautiful hamstring curl moment here. Zip up through that right thigh. Start to tip our torso forward. And then maybe reach that back leg. Kick out through that heel. Fire up through that bum cheek. Woo! For 2. For 1. Bend into your knee. Turn the back leg out. We're in our warrior 2. Opening through those arms. Reaching through those fingertips. Feeling that outer right thigh, hugging the legs in. Left toes are pointing forward this time. Taking a moment to feel the groundedness of your breath and body here. We're going to keep our waist nice and compact. We're going to bring our right forearm down into that right thigh. Circle that left arm up and over. Taking your breath in here. Taking your breath out. Feeling nice and long through the body. Maybe there's an opportunity to open both of your arms. Whew, if there is, we're continually feeling an arrangement of tension between the right forearm and the right thigh. Top hands like a windmill brings you up. Keep the right knee bent. We're going to start to turn out into those left toes, bending into both your knees. Back into our goddess squat. Hugging those feet in. Whew, tall through our spine. Low belly, nice and active. Are you warm? I'm warm. Maybe it feels reasonable to bring that left hand down, bring that right arm up overhead to feel that stretch on this side. Maybe that left arm fully sweeps. You sort of have like a yin-yang sort of symbol here. Keeping the knees bent, inhale to come upright. Exhale, side bend over to the left. Always the left. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it over. One more time. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it over. Take the upper body, circle it down and around so you sort of end up in this sort of hanging forward fold. Turn your toes to face forward, stretch up through the body. Maybe hands come to hips with those straight legs. Tip your torso forward. Maybe there's a bit of a bend in the knees here as we lengthen out through our spines. Taking your breath in, taking a breath out. All right, we're gonna start to get fancy again. We're gonna take those left toes, turn the left toes out, walk our hands all the way over. Hug those legs in towards each other, reach yourself up overhead. Plant your hands down, your choice if you would like to flow or not. Inhale to be nice and long. As we breathe out, gently lowering our chest to the floor. Inhale, sweep up into extension, that makes sense. And then exhale to find your home base. Breathing it in, please. Breathing it out. Zipping in through that belly, pushing the forearms away from you, pushing the floor away from you, lengthening out through your tail. Now, without reaching it up overhead, can you pull your left knee in towards your chest? Plant that left foot on the floor. Bending down through your right knee, let's sweep those arms up overhead to feel that tension. Bringing the arms down, walk that left foot a little bit wider. Turn the toes to 10 o'clock, opening out through that thigh. Maybe there's a twist here for you. Not here terribly long, take your breath in. As we breathe out, we're bringing it down, walking that foot back in. We start to turn and pivot on the back foot, so we have a nice deep bend in that left knee. Now, maybe this feels absolutely horrendous in your body, and you'd much prefer to be back up, or maybe just a little bit, yes? Whatever feels most reasonable for you. Side to side can be so different, and then maybe, there's a side bend to the left here for you. Breathing it in, breathing it out. Feeling that zip of the quad no matter what, that lengthening of the tail. Let's start to turn back on ourselves here, fired up through that back leg. This time it's going to be different. Fire up the back leg, then step it forward. Walk the feet towards each other. Bend in through your knees. Feel the whole foot plant on the floor, lifting up into chair pose or awkward pose, as it can be also translated to. Reach those arms up overhead. Breathing it out. Can you maybe sit just a little bit lower? Now with your arms reaching, still trying to keep that rib cage contained, maybe sit a little bit lower. Breathe in, maybe sit a little bit lower. Breathe in, maybe sit a little bit lower. Now, however works for your body, maybe you'd like a wider foot situation to make it all the way down. And again, shapes can look different in all of our bodies, yes? Leaning back, planting our feet on the floor again, just giving yourself a little side to side. Good work, team. Let's lower all the way back down onto our backs. Letting the pelvis, the arms, all rest here. Can we take that left leg, reach that left leg up, give it a little shakety shake, shake, shake. And we're going to cross that left leg all the way over the right so that the knees are stacked here. Can you press into your right foot, shift your hips to the left, allowing your legs to now melt over to the right. Left arm can reach up by left ear. Settling down into your breath. Good work today, team. Breathing it in, breathing it out. Those legs guide themselves all the way back up to center. Unravel that leg, plant your foot on the floor. Give your hips a little zhuzh. Setting up for our second side. Right leg reaches up. You can give it a little wiggle. Right leg slides all the way over the left. So there's a nice compact experience here for us. Press into the left foot. Take your hips just a little bit over to the right. And then maybe there's space for those legs to melt to the left. Right arm reaches up overhead. Taking your breath in here. Taking a breath out. Always coming back to the breath. When you're ready, guiding those legs back up to center. Unravel the legs. Can we reach our arms and our legs up and just start to give our wrists and ankles a little roll, maybe spreading out through those fingers and toes. Taking a few breaths in one version of this cycle. And then can you reverse engineer this? I think my feet are moving in different directions. Anyone else? Just like, what an interesting brain experiment to be like, are they moving in the same? Shake out your feet, shake out your hands, let it ripple to your legs, your arms, your upper body. Maybe your head curls and you give everything a shake, 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 shake as much as you can for 3, for 2, for 1, and then melting onto the floor. If there are any final movements you would like to make before arriving in your Shavasana, please feel free. If you're happy to be here, be here. And if you'd like a little bit of extra zhuzh for your Shavasana, I always love tossing in a blanket underneath I slot it right up to just the bottoms of my shoulders to support my head. And I love a good boost behind the knees as well. As you settle in here, I do have chimes to play that I would love the opportunity to play for you as we're here. Please know that if your intention is to close practice together, I will definitely be offering that for you. Wherever you are, taking a nice breath in through the nose and exhaling it out. Feeling the nuances of support for your body, the nuances of breath traveling in your body. Noticing if there's any capacity to soften in your shoulders, in your neck, in your jaw, in the gaze of your eyes. Asking your breath to take you just a little bit deeper. If you are perfectly happy exactly as you are, please feel free to stay. If you would like to close together, start to consider deepening your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe extending those arms up and back behind you, reaching through the fingertips, maybe inducing a bit of a yawn. However you'd like to start to work towards lying on your favorite side, please feel free to make your way there. Taking a moment to pause and sort of bask in the experience we just had. When you're ready, gently guiding yourself up to seated, maybe eyes closed. If they're open, just taking a gentle dim down. Gently nodding chin to chest, placing one hand at heart or heart center, second hand over that. It is with deep gratitude and respect that we take our practice to our mats, whatever your form that might take, knowing that we are maybe not the settlers of this land. And so with our practice, honor the indigenous who have been here, who are here, tending to this land. And we offer such gratitude and thanks. I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your practice today. I hope wherever the rest of the day takes you, it is with a bit of ease and gratitude. It is such a pleasure to get to be a blueprint, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Hope to see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, YouTube. I will see you another day.